Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today we're taking a look at the Tall Glass of Victory campaign ship Champagne. In the background here we have a game of Capture the Base on Estuary. This is probably about my 15th or 16th game in the ship, and kind of want to break down what I'm seeing from it, the thoughts on it. At the end I'll kind of give my overall takeaways and thoughts on the ship. With my build right now, I am using Aiming Systems Mod 1 in slot 1, Prop Mod 2 for number 2, Target Acquisition Systems in Mod 3, and then Main Battery Mod 3 in the last slot, just to get that reload time down a little bit. I am using Robert Joujard as my captain, and he has the base trait of increasing the armor penetration, just increasing the multiplier for all your cells. Slot 1, I go with Flammable Cannoneer, just to increase the range, because this ship needs the range, and increase the shell grouping, get a little bit more accuracy on them. The one negative to that perk is that you do have an increased chance of catching fire. Slot 2, I go with Crisscross to increase the traverse speed of the guns. Slot 3, Marksmanship to decrease dispersion, however it does increase rudder shift. And then slot 4, I go with Reaching Out XXL, once again just to increase the range on the guns. And then my legendary perk with Joujard is Will to Rebuild. My inspirations on Joujard are Alan Cunningham to increase the shell grouping, and then D. Ravel to reduce the main battery reload time on your battleship. So now that we have the details on the commander and ship build, what does this ship actually have to offer? So we got 2 turrets, 3 guns on each turret, 406 millimeters, really big guns, especially for this tier. They have a range with my build of 19.4 kilometers, a 24.3 second reload time. Now the HE has a max damage of 6,100 with a 49% fire chance, and the AP has a max damage of 12,100. Now, one huge negative on this ship is the hit points. 52,600 is the lowest amount of hit points for any maxed out tier 7 battleship. For the consumables, we get 3 heals, 4 fighters, and 2 engine boosts. And those engine boosts will certainly help you get into those flanking positions and get some cross-firing shots. Now here you can see we respawned on the west side of this map. So far we have lost both our destroyer and a friendly cruiser on this side, so things are hurting. But what I did, I immediately went straight for the flank. I want to get outside. I want to at least try to create some of these crossfire positions. You did see there a little bit ago we had the hood. We were able to get a good shot on the hood, but at this point the other team's pushing in, so we need to go ahead, kite back a little bit and protect ourselves, especially with this Iowa right there at the middle. Iowa can pretty well dev strike us in one shot if he lands enough of the shells. But fortunately we do have big guns ourselves, and I'm hoping to get a nice juicy shot at a broadside Iowa. And right here we get that shot, able to get both turrets on target, and this is what those guns can do. So 1 penetration plus 3 citadel hits, so landing 4 out of 6 of the shells, pretty good. And we took almost half of the Iowa's health away. You can see they realized they were completely broadside and took out our 1 support cruiser there, and things are looking a little down here. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep kiting, and that's kind of the big negative part of this ship. I think that it requires you to play so defensively that it's going to be extremely difficult to have a noticeable effect on a win or loss, especially in domination game modes. Since the Iowa did end up angling up pretty well there, we went ahead, switched over to HE, but again with 49% fire chance, the HE is fairly potent itself. If you didn't see the salvo right before that, we did disable one of their turrets, so I'm guessing since we're still getting fire damage, they must have used their damage con to fix the turret, which is great news for us. We'll go ahead and just keep on counting that damage up as we go out. Unfortunately there, if I would have had AP, I probably could have finished off the Iowa, but unfortunately I was not prepared enough for that. Now you can see we are getting some shells flying in out here from the west. The one knock I will really have on this ship is the inability to penetrate cruisers. You'll just keep getting a lot of over penetrations. In fact, I was playing a game before this one, and I went back, watched the video, and out of 20 hits, I had 16 over penetrations, and the guns are just moving, or the shells are just moving at such a fast pace. They don't have enough time to arm inside the ship, and it really puts a ceiling on the damage potential that this ship has. The one nice thing about these big guns is that 406 millimeters, if you take that divided by 14.3, which is the calculation used to determine what armor thickness you can overmatch, means you can overmatch 28.39 millimeter thickness armor and below. So that means right now you can overmatch the Baltimore's front armor. Fortunately, it does not mean you can do the Edinburgh, but I'm holding out hope. Maybe someday this ship will get some kind of buff. I'm expecting it's going to underperform, especially against other battleships at the tier. So you can see we've spent the vast majority of this game kiting away, just trying to deal as much damage. And the other downside is, since this is only 2 turrets with both turrets being separated, one on the bow, one on the stern, it makes it very difficult. It means you have to show a lot of broadside if you want to get both turrets on target. But as you can see here, the hood popped up. We're using that speed, which is one of the big advantages of this ship, to kind of throw off those shots. So as soon as I saw them pop up, immediately hit the brakes, turned out. I want to be trying to make it a lot difficult for them to hit us, because the hood has 8 guns and can absolutely cause some damage if I'm left broadside. So at this point, I'm just going to keep on kiting away. You can see that is a halfway decent rear firing angle right there. It allowed me just to go ahead, fire the shots, and as soon as I fire the shots, turn a little bit to the right, reduce the ability for the hood to get any penetrations on our broadside. But as you can see here, the game is quickly kind of folding in on us here. We got simply overrun on the west side. There we do see the Baltimore that is sitting in our cap. Now right here you can see I'm debating which ship to shoot. I do have HE loaded, going back and forth, and the reason I didn't have AP at this point, the hood had angled up, and honestly going AP against a broadside Baltimore would just over penetrate. I do wish that once the Baltimore did angle up like they did here, I would have switched to AP a little bit sooner. But we're going to go ahead and get to see what the HE can do. The unfortunate side is, Baltimore is going to be putting 2 shots in my direction for every, or 2 salvos in my direction for every 1 salvo I'm able to send back their way. And it's just a losing battle at this point. I do believe the Baltimore could Citadel this ship fairly easily, especially when I'm broadside. They might need to be a little bit closer than 13 kilometers, but it certainly has the potential to get there. As you saw there, we were able to land quite a few shells, and we got 2 fires going on the Baltimore in 1 salvo, which, having only 6 shells, that's I'll take those odds any day. But at this point, I'm just trying to deal as much damage, maybe get as many defenses as I can before the game's over. It's all but certain that we're going to lose, and that's my key takeaway on this ship. So first I'll go through the pros. The pros are, it has big guns and it's extremely fast in the water. It allows you to get into cross-firing positions and get some unique angles that you probably can't do with many other tier 7 battleships. But the cons are very big. The low number of guns is number 1. You only have 6 total guns. And second is the bad armor. The armor doesn't allow you to get in close. You have to stay at range if you want any chance of surviving for a long time throughout the battle. And that makes it very difficult to push into caps. And getting into caps is one of the key points of winning this game. Basically the range that is required to operate this ship effectively makes it extremely difficult to have a large effect on the outcome of a game. Unless you're getting dev strikes left and right, which I think are they're very, very difficult to get given the low number of shells that you're shooting per salvo. I think this ship is not going to be fun to play. I think there will be people that are successful with it, but overall it's not going to be a fun ship, an enjoyable play style in order to do what it takes to survive throughout a battle and continue to be effective. That's all we have for today. Let me know what you guys think about this ship in the comments down below. I think it's going to sit in my port quite a while, but perhaps there are some others that really like it. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a good one.